Homish and Rashi, the Torah portion. Vayigash, we are in the sixth reading. We continue with Yaakov and his family going down to Egypt. Let's see as the story unfolds. We are Bereshis, Genesis chapter 46, verse 28. This Yehuda and Yehuda, Shalach, he sent, Yaakov sent Yehuda, Lefana, before him. El Yosef, to Yosef, Lahairis Lefana, to instruct the way ahead. Goishna, in Goshen. Goshen is an area in Egypt where they're going to live. Vayavayo Arza Goshen, and they came to the land of Goshen. Rashi in 28. Rashi's Lahairis Lefana. It's an unusual term to use. Rashi picks up on it. What do you mean to instruct ahead of him? Ketargumo should be understood to clear a place for him, and to instruct how he will settle in it. Right? So that's what he's sending him there to do. Lafanav, before him, before that he reaches there. Before him can just mean just in front of him, right? It could be a few yards in front of him. It could be half a mile in front of him, whatever. Well, what does it mean in front of him? It means before they would arrive there, right? That's not the usual term. So Rashi explains it, right? He says, what does it mean? That he should that he should instruct in ahead of him the secondly based Talmud to establish a house of study there. Yeshiva, like here. No, they were doing Chumash and Rashi over there. before Chumash, before Rashi. That from there instruction should go forth. In other words, it should be a place of learning. A place of learning Torah. 29. Excuse me. The yes are Yosef, and Yosef he harnessed Merkavte, his chariot. Vial, he wasn't in Goshen. Remember, Goshen is not the capital, right? It's not where Pharaoh is. That's the land that he told them that's where you should go when he sent the sons. So you're going to go to the land of Goshen. So they went to where they were told to go. They didn't go to Yosef, right? That's why Yosef now is harnessing his chariot to go to greet his father. Okay. So he harnessed and Viyal, and he went up, Likras Yisrael Aviv, to greet Israel, his father, Goishna in Goshen, the Yera Elav, and he appeared to him, Vayipol al Tzavarav, and he fell on his neck. Right, we had that last week. If you're, the beginning of the parsha with Binyamin and Yosef, if you recall, V'yev kal tzavarav oid, and he wept on his neck excessively more. Okay, Rashi, 29. Excuse me. V'yasa Yosef mirkavte. So Yosef harnessed his chariot. Huatzma, he did it himself. Also, his asusim harnessed his horses on Merkava to the chariot. His daughters to be quick. They called it Aviv in the honor of his father, right? Usually he had people doing it for himself, right? He was Mishal HaMelech. He never saddled his own horse. He had servants for that. But for the honor of his father, to do it quickly, he did it himself. V'yera Elav, and he appeared to him. Yosef Nira El Aviv. Yosef appeared to his father.
In what way is he honoring his father by preparing his chariot himself?
You know,
When he prepared chariot for him.
when you're like if you're having guests and you buy takeout food instead of you make the food yourself, what's more honorable for the guests? Takeout food or you made the food? I'm not talking about whose food is better. Obviously, that's not, being equal. What's more honorable? You made the food yourself, right? What? Let's answer the question. What's more honorable? You made the food or someone or you got takeout? You made the food, obviously. I mean, if you're not answering, obviously that's more honorable, right? For your guests that you do that, right? So he's going to his father. He wants to honor him. He himself is going to saddle his own horse. His own chariot is more honor than someone is doing it for him. In other words, his trip to his father, he's honoring him by doing the work himself. That's all. Simple.
Didn't Ephraim also himself
Yes.
saddle his own donkey?
He saddled his own donkey when he took. Exactly. Good. Very good. Excellent. Exactly. And who else did that? One other. Bilam. He did it out of hatred for the Jews. Hatred and love warps your normal routine. Okay. Sorry, Shimalei, but we've got a lot to learn over here, so we gotta, we can't make it into conversation. All right. Yosef, so Yosef appeared to his father, and he wept on his neck excessively. Lashon harbe b'chiyas, excessive weeping. V'chein ki yesh al ish yosim oid. He just wants to show that this idea means excessive. Lashon rivayu, it's an expression of excessiveness. Enu sam olav alilois. Mesafas halachotov. Afkan. Here, so Yosef increased and added in his crying. Yosef alarag, more than would be normal. About Yaakov, right? Doesn't say anything in the verse about Yaakov, right? So Rashi says about Yaakov, Yosef. He did not fall on his neck. Loy nashkoi, nor did he kiss him. Rabbi Seinu, our sages said, Shema, he was right. He was saying the Shema at the time. We're not going to stop on this because there's a lot. The Rebbe explains a lot over here, but we don't have time. If we do, we'll stop on it. But why was he saying Shema? Why didn't he cry? And so on. So we will not now. But there's a lot there. Okay, number 30. We're at 30. Vayomer Yisrael Yosef, and Yisrael said to Yosef, Amusa Pam, I can die this time. After seeing Espanacha, seeing your face. Because you're still alive. Rashi in 30. Amusa Pam, I can die this time. Pshuta Kitargumai. The simple meaning, as according to Unkelis. In other words, if I were to die, he doesn't bring down what Unkelis says, but if he says if I were to die this now, I'd be comforted because I saw you. Till now, he wasn't comforted. Now I'd be comforted, right? A midrash, right? The midrashic interpretation. I was under the impression I would die 2 deaths. One in this world and one in the world to come. Why? Because the Shekhinah, the divine presence of God, was removed from me. I used to say, she is by Eini HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as Misasecha, that when Hashem would claim your death from me, he would hold me responsible for your death. Now that you're still alive, I'll only die one time. Follow? In other words, Yeah,
son was close.
right. It's his son. He feels responsible, right? And therefore I would have lost the divine presence of God in this world and in the next world. Now that I see you, okay, interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. Okay, 31. V'yemi Yosef, and Yosef said Elechav to his brothers, the Albeis Aviv, and to his father's household, Ella, I will go up, Vagidal, and I will tell Lefara to Parat. Elav, and I will say to him, Achai, my brothers, Obeis Avi, and my father's household, Sheveretz Canaan, Bo Eli, that are in the that were from the land of Canaan, they have come to me. Interesting that he puts his brothers first before his father. And it's not his father, the house of his father. Let's see Rashi. I may love Achai, and I will say to him, my brothers, and in addition, I will say to him, men who are shepherds. Uh-huh. So look what.
Doesn't, Joseph doesn't want to give Pharaoh the,
Well, let's take it step by step. Let's take it step by step because there's a nuance over here that is no, there's a nuance over here. That Yosef said to his brothers in the house of V'agida leParai v'emra Ela. I'm going to tell Parai, and I will say to him. Got that? So Rashi's picking up on the redundancy. That's the first thing to pick up on. You hear Shimon Leib? Okay, maybe move down here, Shimon Leib.
down there.
Come down south. It's warmer down south.
I didn't hear you because I was reading ahead.
Yeah. So he's picking, and in addition, I will tell him, Menashe Meritze. In other words, what's the redundancy? Because in addition, I'm going to tell him that you are shepherds. That you are shepherds. And we'll see how that ties in soon. Okay? We'll see how that ties in soon. 32. Anashim. Well, it's this next pasuk, next verse. 32, Vanashim, and the men, right? It's saying they're shepherds. For they are men of cattle, Hayu, B'tzoinam, B'karam, and their flocks and their cattle, Chol Asher Lehem Heviu, and all that is theirs they brought. So they brought, brought it all. V'hayaki Yikra Lachem Parai, exactly. And it shall come, and it shall be when Paro will summon you. He will call you. Vikra, right? Means to call, and meaning to summon you in this context, right? To Parai, and you'll tell him what your occupation is. 34. And you'll say, we are men of cattle. Cattle here doesn't mean ox, and it means everything, like all of it. It means all of the different types of Hayo Avadecha were your servants, Menuarenu, from our excuse me, from our youth, Manata until now. Megama Nachnu, and us also, Gama Vesenu, also our forefathers, it's Goshen, in order so that we may settle in the land of Goshen, because it's an abomination for the Egyptians, called Reyet, saying, those that are shepherds. It's an abomination. Because sheep is one of their idolatries, right? That's why when the Jewish people left, what did we do? We took one of their idols, a sheep, we tied it by the bedpost from Rosh Chodesh, Nisan, and on the 10th we slaughtered it, put the blood on the doorposts, right? And then we left on the 15th, right? The blood then, what was the blood there for?
So the angel of death.
Death,
would pass.
Passover. So we would have a holiday called Passover, the Jewish homes that had that. Exactly.
And the mezuzah symbolize the
Yeah.
Does the word Pesach symbolize passing over also?
Pesach doesn't
Means
symbolize
Passover.
it. No, it doesn't symbolize it. It means to skip, to
Passover.
jump over,
Yeah.
to skip, to pass over. Exactly. 34. Bavortesh for Beres Goshen. In order that you should settle in the land of Goshen, and it is necessary for you, a land of pasture, then when you will tell Parai, that you're not experts at other work. He's going to distance you from him, and he's going to settle you there. He doesn't need you, right? He doesn't need you. He saw that you were, statesman, you were, whatever. But you're just shepherds, you're simple folk. Yeah, who needs you?
No, I think the reason that Joseph is telling his family to
It says
they're shepherds. I think
it says because because it's a deity of theirs. I mean, he did.
I know what it says. I see that, but it is also another reason in there that his family will not be challenged.
Okay. Right.
A challenge to Pharaoh. So he doesn't have to worry about them fighting or taking over
right
their situation.
Yeah. Since all who graze sheep are an abomination to Egypt, because they are a deity to them. Okay. Chapter 47, verse 1.
We get the impression that isolates his family, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, he wants to do that. Yep.
Wants to what?
Isolate
Isolate, right.
family from Egyptian society.
Absolutely. Yeah, why would they want to be part of Egyptian society that is, idolatrous?
Stupid with it.
Yep. Vayava Yosef, and he came Yosef, Yagi Lepara, and he said to Para, V'yomer, and he said, Avi, my father, V'achai, and my brothers, V'tzoinam, and their flock, V'karim, and their cattle, Chol Asher Lahem, and all that's to them, Bo, and the Eretz Canaan, they came from the land of Canaan, V'hinam, and behold, they are Be'eretz Goshen, in the land of Goshen. Verse 2. Miksei Echav, and he took from a part of his brothers, Lakach Chamisha, Anashim, he took 5 brothers. We had sea game, Lifnei Paroi, and he stood them before Paroi. Rashi. We're going to see interesting Rashi over here. Miksei Echav. He took a part of his brothers, right? Now, you don't have to use those words because it says he took 5. But you have to say he took part, right? Obviously. Well, 5 is half. I mean, 5 is, well, it's not half, but it doesn't matter, right? So Rashi says, he took the least among them in terms of strength. That they didn't look mighty, these 5. Because if Pharaoh would see that they were mighty, he'll make them warriors. And who are they? Because it doesn't say who, right? So Rashi says, who are they? He says, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yisachar, Binyamin.
Wasn't
right?
Shimon and Levi, weren't they the ones that fought
Yeah.
in
Yeah, anyway, let's see. Let's yeah, good question. Good question.
So how
Let's learn. Let's learn. I said it's a good question.
Gonna come back to it?
No. Because we're learning Chumash and Rashi right now.
It's a comment by Rashi, isn't that part of?
I know, but we're learning again. We have to learn Chumash Rashi the way we're supposed to learn Chumash Rashi, right? So let's learn. Rashi has to learn it out from the text, right? If there's a question about Shimon and Levi, and Levi, right? That's not necessarily the simple meaning of the text. How does he know that they're the ones? So
Yeah, how do you
what?
pick those?
So
I mean, they're
Shimon Levi, please let me teach. Okay,
all right.
thank you, thank you. We're pressed on time, so I'm sorry to
It's all right, it's all right.
Okay.
You have your agenda, it's fine.
Oisam shaloi kafel Moshe shmoisam. How do we know? The ones that Moshe did not repeat their names. Shkishabircham, when he blessed them at the end in Zois Bracha, the last Torah portion. Aval Shmois Hagiborim, but the names of the mighty ones, kafel, he repeated their names. For example, Shema Hashem Kol Yehuda, Zois Yehuda, Shema Hashem Kol Yehuda. and this is to Yehuda, hearken O Hashem, to Yehuda's voice. Well, the God Amar, Baruch Marchiv, God. And God, he said, blessed be he who broadens God. Well, then Naphtali Amar, Naphtali, and Naphtali, he said, and so on. God Amar, Adan Amar, Dan. See how each one of them are doubled? Their name are doubled. And it's likewise for the other last two. But that's according to Bereshis Rabbah. She Agadah Eretz Yisrael, which is an Agadah from the land of Israel. Talmud Bavli Shalanu, but in the Babylonian Talmud, which is ours, Matzinu, we find that the opposite, that those that Moshe repeated their names, they're the weak ones. And it was they whom Yosef brought before Parai. Yehuda, Shehuch Bol Shmoi, Lo Yehuch Bol Mishum Chalashes. But Yehuda, his name was repeated, but he's not one of them, because it was not because of weakness, for he was strong. Allah Tam Yesh Badavar, but there's a reason for that matter. Babakama, since is free, Shaninu, Zois Bracha, Kamesha Talmud Shalanu. And in the Sifri learns according to the Talmud, according to our Talmud. Okay?
So he's saying, like, for different reasons they were repeated.
Yeah, the opposite.
Oh,
One
yeah,
opposite the other. Yeah. Anyway, we're not going to go there now. There's a Sikha on the Rebbe on that, but, Halavai, we had time. Okay. Vayemer Pare El Echav, verse number 3. Excuse me. Vayemer Pare El Echav, and Pare said to his brothers, Mama Sechem, what's your occupation? Vayemer Pare, and they said to Pare, right, we're shepherds of Adecha, your servants. Gamanachnu, we us also, also our forefathers, right? We have a long history. And they said, El Pare, Lagur Beretz, and they further said to Pare, we've come to dwell in the land. Ki ein mirel betzain, asher lavadecha, ki koved arab, Eretz Canaan. We've come to dwell in the land because there is no pasture for our flock, for your servants in our land, because it is ki koved arab, because it's a very harsh famine in the land of Canaan. V'ata now, Yeshvino v'decha, please let your servants dwell be'eretz Goshen, in the land of Goshen. V'yomer Paro el Yosef. Paro said to Yosef in verse number 5, Lamor saying, Avicha, your father, v'achecha, and your brothers, ba'u elecha, they came to you. Eretz Mitzrayim lefanecha, the land of Egypt is before you. B'mei tavaris, the best of the land, Haishivas Avicha, place and dwell your father, Vesachecha, and your brothers. Yeshu Be'eretz Goshen, they should dwell in the land of Goshen. Ve'im Yadaita, and if you know, Yesh Ma'am Anshe Chayil, that there's men that are men of war, or men of capable men. V'samtem sare mikne alcohol al asher li. Then you should appoint a manager of the livestock over that which is mine. Rashi. Rashi in 6. Anshe chayil, capable men, Mikim be'umnosam, experts in their occupation, Leroy Stein, to herd sheep. I'm a little confused. Allah Sherli, that which is mine, Al Tzain Shali, he has his own flock of sheep. What's going on? I don't get that. What does that mean? Huh?
Which verse?
6. It says mikne. Mikne is a general term for of livestock. Doesn't mean sheep. Rashi says sheep. What the heck? I don't get it. You follow my question? And it's Rashi that says sheep. Rashi doesn't. For the words capable men, that they're experts in taking care of sheep. Well, where does Rashi get that? Okay. 7. Yovi Yosef is Yaakov Aviv. So that was the brothers, by the way, right? Now Yosef brought Yaakov his father, V'yamidehu, and he stood him up, lifnei para, before Para, v'yivarech Yaakov his para, and Yaakov blessed Para. Rashi, v'yivarech Yaakov, he she'ela shalom. This is a greeting. Kederech kol anirim lifnei hamalachim, as those who appear before kings, the prakim, from time to time, and saludar in Old French. Verse number 8. Yaakov and Paro said to Yaakov, how old are you? How many years? I mean, more precisely, Kama Yemei, how many days of years of your life? Number 9, Yaakov Para, and Yaakov responded to Para, Yemei Shnei Migore Shloishim Ashana, the years of my sojourns, of my journeys, is 130 years. Ma'at, few, v'roim, and bad. Haya yemei shnei chayai, few and bad have been the days of my life. Lo yisigu yemei shnei chayai, and I did not reach the days of years of the life of my life, avoisai megorehem, to my forefathers in the days of their sojourns and their journeys. In other words, they lived longer than me. That's what he's saying. Ashi, shnei megurai, the years of my sojourns. Yemei gerusi, the days of my transient days. Kol yamai, all of my days. Ayisi ger be'aretz, I was a transient in the land.
Sojourner where?
In Canaan.
He feels like a sojourner.
Yeah. Yeah, so he didn't. Interesting. Lo yisigu, I have not reached b'toiva, in terms of goodness, to what my forebears, father and grandfather, did. Last verse, number 10. Vivarach Yaakov his Parai, and Yaakov blessed Parai, v'yetzim milifnei Parai, and he went away from before Paro. Rashi, vivarach Yaakov, blessed. Kederach kol haniftarim, like those who depart, milifnei Sarim, before in the presence of noblemen. Vivarachim, they blessed them. and they get permission to leave. Ma bracha berchu. And what blessing did he give him? Shiala nilas l'ragla, that the Nile should rise to his feet. Excuse me. Mitzrayim sheisa me'geshamim, because the land of Egypt was not sufficiently watered by rainwater from above. Ella nilas, but the Nile River would rise, umashke, and irrigate. It would overflow and irrigate the land. And from that time, the Yaakov gave a blessing onward. Para would come to the Nile, and it would rise up towards him. And irrigate the land. That's what the Tanchuma says. All right. Just one quick idea. Just one quick idea. Yaakov was busy saying Shema, right? Yosef and Binyamin, they were crying over what's going to be in the future for their. Right? With that itself, we didn't explain proper. We didn't give the proper explanation. But why were they crying over not their own destruction? Because your own destruction, you don't cry, you fix it. Someone else, you try to help them, but in the end, if you can't help them, all you're left to do is cry over for them. All you can do is cry for them, right? But for yourself, if there's anything that needs fixing, you need to fix it. Nothing to cry about. Crying is just a way to alleviate yourself from doing anything when you need to fix something. So Yosef is crying over Binyamin's 2 holy temples that were destroyed, right? Binyamin is crying over the Mishkan, Shiloh, that's in his section. Over their own, they're not crying. They're fixing it, right? Yaakov is the father of everybody. He's saying the Shema because he's fixing everything. So in the height of destruction, the height of where you think, or a height of coming together is a lot more than than just what meets the eye of coming together. This is a coming together of all of the future of what it means. And Yaakov, being the father of everybody, is responsible for everybody, and therefore, he's fixing? How's he fixing? He's saying the Shema. He's davening to Hashem that that the future of the Jewish people should be okay. All right, Tanya coming. Tanya is going to be very short, and there will not be Rambam. I have to go. Actually.